industry is full of opinions, and opinions are dangerous, and opinions aren't necessarily accurate. And all the results that are being published on social media at the moment are talking about big results over reserve. They're actually quoting a lot of the time the dollar figure over reserve, and naturally this causes a bit of animosity amongst, one, I guess, the successful bidder, and underbidders and those looking at the market who equate a guide price to a potential sale price. And unfortunately there is a little gap emerging between those figures. That's understandable. The market's back, the average registrations has jumped, the competition on auction floor has jumped, so we are seeing some results that we could not predict 8-12 weeks ago when we first appraised the property. Let's look at that opinion. Appraised is based on an opinion, it's based on recent sales, and some of the recent sales in the 3 to 6 months prior to this last little boom have been really low. So understandably, when we're managing owners' expectations or guessing as to future sale price, we do have to take those sales into account. But since then, the buyers have returned, and we're seeing some monster results. Quoting on auction campaigns is really about your belief system and where you feel comfortable. Personally, I'm a big fan of not quoting a price, at least for the first 2 weeks of a campaign. That is kind of tried and tested textbook response, but you do get hammered by buyers who expect an opinion of value. They ask you what you have put on your agency agreement, and they're all just opinions. So my favorite kind of lines are, well, our owner obviously wants the most they can get. 2, my opinion of value will have no reflection on the eventual sale price, and what it's worth and what it will sell for are 2 different numbers. The challenge is, if we put and are ballsy enough to put a guide price on from day one, and during the campaign it's showing to be low, should we, and we're expected to, increase that guide price to reflect the buyer feedback? Technically, the answer is no. If it's not an official written offer, then we do not have to adjust the price guide. We do have to document every conversation we've had around price, but there are lots of little ways to get around it, and that will eventually and understandably cause a lot of frustration amongst buyers. But from a buyer's point of view, you have to understand that the job of this industry, of us representing our owners, is to maximize the price. You will understand that if we quote you a higher number, you are less likely to look at the property, less likely to form an emotional attachment to it, and probably less likely to engage in the process. So naturally, we want to quote a guide that's as accurate as possible, but as low as possible, to gain and garner your interest in the home. And from a buyer, you really have to understand that my opinion of value, the agent's opinion of value, the owner's opinion of value really have no consequence when it comes to the auction floor. We are going to allow the competition to compete and bid to a figure that they feel comfortable with. If you've got competition to well in excess of the guide price, there are at least 2 of you whose opinion of value were above the owner, above the agent, above mine, maybe the auctioneer's, and potentially yours. So what's the problem? That's my big question. Do you want us to lie to you about a guide? Do you understand the mechanisms of overquoting, underquoting, offering you an opinion of value? Let's just stay out of it. Your opinion of value on anything, any product, your child. You value your child more than I would. It's because you're emotionally attached to it. So let's get back to understanding the system, respecting the system, keeping price out, offering decent, comparable evidence, but even that's difficult. What it's worth and what it will sell for are 2 different figures. As soon as the buyers and agents believe in that process, then we can get away from all the frustrations around price guides and hopefully keep fair trading out of it, because our job's to maximize price.